fluky things can happen in soccer, or you can just have a team who bunkers and you can't break them down because they have so many guys. So in soccer, the best teams.
What do you mean bunkers? By the way, is that mean draws everybody in?
Yeah, they just put 9 guys behind the ball.
I remember a Somerville team, or maybe a couple of years worth of Somerville teams that they were fairly skilled, but boy, they were gritty. They were gritty teams, and I remember them playing in the tournament and thinking they weren't necessarily going to win on skill points. I mean, I don't want to. They won on grit. They had talent, but they won on grit.
Well, bunkering isn't necessarily associated just with grit. It's a strategy. I mean, professional too.
Oh no, and I'm not talking about that with the Somerville team. I thought the Somerville team played, as I recall, it was a while ago. But they were a good team. They played the whole field. They didn't bunker. I know what you're saying. Right. The bunker is like the prevent defense. It's like once you get ahead, you go into the bunkering, and then maybe you win or maybe you wind up losing 2-1 because you were so worried about protecting the 1-goal lead. You gave all the momentum to the other team. Right. You let the other team, as you call it, impose their will. But, I mean, I've seen teams from the city that have just been gritty, and they wouldn't call them the most highly skilled team, but they hustle and they just – they win.
Well, they're tough kids. They live a different life than suburban kids. Yeah. And, a lot of them it's proving.
All right. So you don't like the idea of the Super 8?
Not for soccer. I just don't like – I like the new format this year. For example, they did it. Part of the reason they did it is because teams from the Central and West could just coast to the state championship game. Because the level of play out there just isn't the same. Yeah. And there's not as many teams. So now they made it statewide, and all 4 teams who made it to the Final Four all came out of what would have been Division I North. So 3 of those 4 teams, and we made it to the Final 8, so 5 of the Final 8 were Division I North. So all of those teams would have been gone under the format of just a year ago. Okay. So I think for Division I anyway, it worked.
But isn't it also fair to say, and maybe not this year, maybe other years, that because of COVID – can't head the ball, can't do this, can't do that. Has that changed?
Well, that was one season.
Yeah, that was last year.
Right, 2021 we were playing real soccer. Yeah, 2020 was a tough year. Yeah.
Okay. We're going to move on. We're going to go to 2. Oh, I like this one. And obviously, Dale, you won't be surprised that I'm wondering about this. If you had to insult the soccer, or if somebody's going to come up to you and they want to insult you or any soccer coach, what do you think the best way is to insult them? Say, it's kick and run, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kick and run is when you just kick the ball down the wings and then kick the ball into the center. And the idea is,
Dave, I've watched enough soccer to know that.
You haven't. You don't know. You know it because
who's being condescending now.
Yeah, come on, Dave.
Yeah, he is condescending, isn't he?
I'm not just a sound guy here, Dave. I know a little bit about soccer.
About soccer? About soccer? I know that's not true. All right, so it's kick and run.
Yeah.
What other good ways are there to insult soccer coaches?
I guess a lot of guys, it might be about their hair.
No one's ever insulted your hair, have they?
They have not.
Not live to tell about it.
Or maybe, the sweatsuit they're wearing might be another way.
Oh, good point. Yeah. I would think that...
I just wear my shoes and jeans, and I'm not playing, I'm coaching, so I don't think I need a sweatsuit. But I think there are coaches who are offended by the fact that I don't have a sweatsuit on.
Do you ever walk up to a coach before a game and say something to either insult or intimidate him? I know it would ruin it if you said yes, I do, but no one's going to listen. Go ahead.
No,
you've never said anything to insult or intimidate? I bet you've said condescending things to him without even meaning to.
That would be after a game, probably not before it.
Nice game. Too bad you lost.
Well, the only time in all the years I've been coaching, I did not shake the other coach's hand was, again, way back when I was in Linfield. When I was first there, our teams were pretty bad. And we lost to Newburyport like 8-0 or something. And one kid scored 6 goals.
Oh.
So, of course, as the game was going on, my kids are getting pissed.
Yeah.
They're starting to take runs at the kid.
Yep.
So the coach started, yelling at me and yelling at my kids. And I basically pulled an FO.
Yeah.
And so after the game, we went through the line, shook all the kids' hands, told the kid who scored the goals he had a great game, and got to him, and I wouldn't shake his hand. And he's like, well, I'm trying to make the kid the leading scorer in the league.
Oh,
well, that's
I hate that.
That's not how you do it.
All right, moving on. Here's our last question. Final question of the day. How does a person become a soccerhead and still be an adult and hold a job in today's world?
Well, that's extremely difficult. No, there's games on everywhere all the time. I watch I watch the European leagues. I'm a big fan of the Bundesliga, but mainly because that's
the what league?
The Bundesliga in Germany. But that's where most of the Americans abroad are playing.
Did you say that again?
That's why I watch it.
Bundesliga?
Yeah. So that's why I watch a majority of that, because that's where most of the American kids are playing. So they're scattered around now. There's a few of them in Serie A and in the lower leagues, and a couple guys in the EPL, but for me, it's more about watching the American kids.
So if I'm an American and I want to become a soccer head, I've got to go find, what's the league again?
Well, MLS.
Okay, MLS I want to start with.
Yeah.
But then when I decide I'm tired of sleeping with my wife, I'm tired of sleeping through the night, and I want to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch a game, it's the Bundesliga.
For me.
Well, I'm asking for the primer.
Yeah.
Okay, the Bundesliga.
Well, again, the EPL is the best league in the world, the English Premier League.
Anyway, that's it. Thanks, Dave, for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I had fun.
That's it for this episode of Soccerheads New England. We'll be back next week, and who knows? Paul will definitely be here. Maybe Jim will be here. Hard to say. We'd like to thank financial advisor Rick Spencer, and don't forget, for fundraising the Soccerheads experience, send us something at soccerheadsnewengland@gmail.com. For the missing Paul Nardizzi and Jim Ruberti, engineer Dale Lawrence, and special guest Dave Crowell, I'm Dave Rattigan, and this has been Soccerheads New England. Thanks for listening.